So lethal alleles are those alleles which cause death of an individual. In fact, a particular gene may be represented in more than one form, and all such forms are known as alleles. Sometimes a particular form of allele may be lethal in a specific gene combination, in a specific combination. So let us have idea about the different types of alleles which could cause death of an organism. It was Cuenot who in 1905 performed an experiment to observe the inheritance of coat color in mice. What he did, he selected two mice which were yellow in color. Female was yellow colored, male individual was also yellow colored. And when he made crosses, in next generation he found 2:1 ratio. He was actually expecting 3:1 ratio, but he found 2:1 ratio. Two were yellow types and one agouti. Agouti actually refers to those mice which are wild type, which possess brownish coat color, skin coat color. Actually, if you see the hairs of such mice, the tip of hair will be black in color, its basal portion will also be black in color, and the middle portion looks yellowish. So as a whole, such hairs give brownish expression of the coat color and referred as agouti. So instead of 3:1 ratio, he got 2:1, but he was not able to explain the real cause of such deviation in the ratio. So in 1910, other scientists like Castle and Little actually confirmed the Cuenot's unusual segregation ratio, and they observed that 25% of the offspring from crosses between heterozygotes, that is two allotypes, died during embryonic development. So the mice which were being used, allotypes, were actually heterozygous one. And when pregnant females were dissected to observe the embryo in their womb, it was found that 25% of the developing embryo were dead. So they could understand that there is some lethality, some specific genetic reason which is causing this deviation in ratio. Now we can understand this entire phenomenon in the further explanations. Suppose the allele A, means if we consider that specific locus which causes coat color, then it's one form, capital A, that causes agouti color, and its alternate form AY, it causes yellow color. So due to presence of these two alleles, we can expect that there will be three different genotypes, that is capital AA, then capital AY, and AY. So these three genotypes will be possible. AA types, they will be agouti, and AY heterozygotes will be yellow in color, and AY, they will also be yellow in color. But exactly what happens, these homozygous AY type, they actually die, they don't survive. So we can say that AY allele in homozygous condition causes death of the organism or death of the mice. So we find this particular genotype to be lethal. We can also have idea by seeing this particular cross. See, a male individual which is heterozygous will be of genotype AY, and female will also be of the same, means female of yellow phenotype will also be of the same genotype, that is AY. So two types of gametes will be formed in male, that is A and AY. In the same way, in case of female also, 50% of gametes will be of A type, remaining 50% AY types. Then there would be random fertilization of gametes, and you will have AA types 1/4, that is 25%. Likewise, heterozygotes yellow, this will be 25%. Another yellow type, this will also be 25%. and AY allotypes, they will be 25%. So what exactly happens? Allo homozygous types AY, these 25% actually die during embryonic development. And this is the reason that allotypes, they are 2, and agouti types, they are 1. So 2:1 ratio occur in the next generation. Now, there are other examples of lethal alleles in other organisms, particularly in humans. I'm going to explain here. In case of humans, so many genes or alleles are known, which are actually lethal in nature, and some of them could be cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a deadly disease in which homozygous recessive types, they don't survive because it is a recessive autosomal disease. So those who are recessive homozygous, they will not be surviving. Sickle cell anemia is another case in which homozygous individuals don't survive because homozygous individuals will have all their RBC in the shape of sickle, that is elongated one. They will not be carrying enough amount of oxygen. So because of hypoxia, the individual will die, and also such RBC actually cause obstruction in the movement in blood vessel, and that results into hemorrhage in different regions, in different organs of their body. Achondroplasia actually is a disease in which dwarfism takes place. So heterozygotes are actually dwarf people, but homozygous allele which causes achondroplasia, that causes death of the individuals. So uh, the dwarf people, homozygous dwarf, they are not found in our population. Likewise, Huntington's disease is a dominant lethal allele. So these are some of the examples of lethal alleles in human beings.